Chapter 6. My Grandpa's Money Tales. All right, let me tell you about my grandpa because he's one of the wisest people I know. Whenever I'd visit him, he always had a story to tell, especially when it came to money. You see, my grandpa grew up in a time when money was tight, so he learned early on the importance of saving. One day, I asked him, "Grandpa, how did you get so good at managing your money?" He sat me down and told me, "Max, the trick isn't just making money. It's knowing what to do with it once you've got it. If you save a little bit every time you earn, over time, that small amount grows into something bigger." That's when he introduced me to something called the Rule of 10. For every dollar he earned, he'd save 10 cents. "It may not sound like much," he said, "but those 10 cents add up over time." I remember thinking, 10 cents? That's hardly anything. But Grandpa had this way of explaining things that just made sense. He showed me how he started with tiny amounts, and over the years his savings grew. "The key," he said, "is consistency." And honestly, that's something that has stuck with me to this day. Saving isn't about putting away huge chunks all at once. It's about making it a habit, even if you're just saving small amounts. Grandpa taught me that saving is the foundation of financial success. It's like building a house. You can't get started until you've laid a solid foundation. And guess what? That's exactly what I did when I earned my first few dollars. Instead of spending it all, I started saving a portion of it just like Grandpa. It wasn't long before I could see my savings grow, and let me tell you, that feeling of watching your money grow is pretty awesome. Now, Grandpa didn't stop at saving. Once he had saved enough, he began to invest his money. One afternoon, while we were playing chess, Grandpa shared one of his favorite stories about investing. "When I was younger, Max," he said, "I had saved up enough money to buy a small piece of land. It wasn't much, just a little plot in a quiet area. Back then, people told me it wasn't worth much and they thought I was wasting my money. But I had a hunch." He paused and smiled. "I didn't buy that land because I thought I'd get rich overnight. I bought it because I saw the potential. Sure enough, a few years later, people started building homes nearby, and suddenly, my small piece of land was worth a lot more." That was the first time I understood the concept of investing. Grandpa explained that investing is all about planting seeds. Sometimes those seeds take time to grow, but with patience and smart decisions, they can yield big rewards. He taught me that it's not about quick wins or gambling your money. It's about making thoughtful, calculated decisions. He also said, "Max, when you invest, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread out your investments." I didn't fully understand what he meant at the time, but as I got older and started investing myself, his advice made perfect sense. Diversifying, putting your money in different places, reduces risk and gives you a better chance of success in the long run. His lesson on investing wasn't just about money either. It applied to life, too. Sometimes you take risks based on what you believe will grow in the future. It could be a project, a skill, or even a relationship. Investing time and effort into the right things can bring you big rewards. Grandpa always emphasized that opportunities are everywhere if you keep your eyes open. One day, he told me, "Max, you've got to be ready when opportunity knocks. Most people miss out on chances because they're not prepared, or they're too afraid to take a risk." He told me a story from when he was a young man. There was a local business that was struggling to keep up with the demand for a certain product. Grandpa noticed this and saw an opportunity. He didn't have much money at the time, but he had a good relationship with the owner, so he offered to help by making a small investment in the business. "I took a chance," Grandpa said, "but I believed in the idea, and more importantly, I believed in myself." That small investment ended up paying off big time. The business turned around, and Grandpa earned back much more than he had put in. But it wasn't just about the money. Grandpa taught me that being able to spot opportunities and having the courage to act on them is key to success in life. This was one of the biggest lessons I took away from Grandpa. It's not just about saving or investing. It's about recognizing when an opportunity is right in front of you and being bold enough to go for it. I remember asking Grandpa how he knew when something was a good opportunity. He smiled and said, "Experience, Max. The more you pay attention, the better you get at spotting what's worth your time and money." That stuck with me. Since then, I've always tried to keep my eyes open for opportunities, whether it's in business, learning something new, or even meeting new people. You never know when the next big opportunity might come knocking. Grandpa didn't just teach me about money. His decisions shaped his entire life, from the way he approached his education to how he built his career, and even how he created opportunities for his family. One thing he always told me was, "Max, your choices have a ripple effect. They don't just affect the moment, they shape your future." Take education, for example. Grandpa didn't come from a wealthy family and going to college wasn't a guarantee for him. But he knew that learning was the key to unlocking more opportunities. So he made the decision to work hard in school and, when the time came, to apply for scholarships. He wasn't sure if he'd get one, but he put in the effort and eventually he won a scholarship that allowed him to attend college. That decision to pursue education opened doors he never thought possible. Because of it, he landed a good job after graduation, one that gave him a stable income and the ability to start saving. But Grandpa didn't stop there. He continued learning throughout his life, even when he was well into his career. He took courses, read books, and kept expanding his knowledge. "Max," he'd say, "you never know when something you learn will come in handy." His job? It wasn't handed to him. He had to work for it. But because of the decisions he made early on, like saving, investing in himself through education, and staying curious, he was able to move up the ranks. He didn't just settle for what he had. He kept striving for more. Grandpa's ability to recognize opportunities and take calculated risks at work helped him earn promotions and respect from his peers. And then there's his family. Grandpa always told me that his greatest investments weren't in stocks or land, but in his relationships. He made it a priority to spend time with family, to help them when they needed it, and to teach them what he knew. "Your family is your legacy," he'd say. "They carry forward what you leave behind." His decision to focus on building strong family bonds shaped our family for generations. It taught me the importance of giving back, not just with money, but with time and wisdom. One of the most important lessons Grandpa shared with me was how every decision he made, whether big or small, was interconnected. His education led to job opportunities. His job allowed him to invest and build wealth. His wealth gave him the freedom to make choices for his family's future, like buying a house, helping others, and passing down what he had learned. Even his hobbies, like gardening or chess, were choices that brought balance to his life and kept him grounded. In the end, it was never just about one decision. It was about the series of choices Grandpa made, each one building on the last, creating a ripple effect that shaped his entire life. "Max," he'd say, "you're the sum of the decisions you make, so make them wisely." That's when I realized that the decisions I make now, even the small ones, have the power to shape my future. Whether it's choosing to save a little bit of money, putting effort into learning something new, or investing in relationships with the people around me, each choice matters. And that's what Grandpa's life really taught me. The power of decisions to create a life that's full of opportunity, success, and meaning.